You know, I've got one final thing to say on this Wikileaks thing and the entire spin regarding Julian Assange. I have said from the beginning that this organization was not perfect, okay? They have made certain mistakes. They're not perfect. Neither are the governments that they are criticizing. But what it has finally come down to, and if people are too dense to see this, being once again totally propagandized by their mainstream media, then this is it. Because this is what it has essentially come down to. And this was very well expressed by somebody named Dennis Liu, who wrote an article over at Counterpunch. And I'm going to try to post a link to that article because everyone, I think, should read it. It has finally come to this. People such as Julian Assange and Wikileaks are criminals and high-tech terrorists because they are heroically and in grave danger of their lives releasing documents stamped as secret, thereby revealing the grotesque lies being told by our governments, not just the US government, our government's advocacy and commission of crimes right and left, and the fact that the government is doing exactly the opposite of what it claims to be doing in our faces. Not only are these whistleblowers labeled criminals responsible for bloodshed on their hands, but the people who have openly confessed to ordering detainees to be tortured, who were caught red-handed fabricating the grounds for unprovoked aggression. The wars upon Iraq and Afghanistan come to mind, that have resulted in the deaths of more than 1 million people. Those who routinely kill and maim for sport, it seems, are blameless. White as snow. Lambs, true patriots, true God-fearing icons of virtue, and moral paragons. These pure souls are so innocent and moral that they can freely advocate the murder of other citizens and whistleblowers and still be pure and moral paragons. To cite just one example of several of these God-fearing moralists who are openly calling for Assange's assassination. We have built an overwhelming, nearly unstoppable war machine that can turn any military force that goes up against it into cat food. And then we've proceeded to create mind-numbingly stupid, overly legalistic rules of engagement that nullify many of our advantages. We have a military capable of reducing whole regions to rubble in days, and yet we struggle to deal with Somalian pirates and Taliban cavemen because we can't hear the idea that there may be an unflattering piece in the New York Times or elsewhere if we accidentally kill some civilians who, short of picking up a gun, are doing everything they can to help our enemies. This came from a post on townhall.com. John Hawkins, 5 reasons the CIA should have killed Julian Assange. this is what we're up against here, folks. People who openly call for the abolishment of not only international law, but also for domestic law. It seems that if you want to call for somebody's assassination in the press, and if you bamboozle the people long enough to believe it, that this is a just cause, then everyone will fall in line. As basically I'm expecting to fall everyone in line with this again. You know, it's amazing to me that most of the American people simply look away when it comes to the wrongdoings of their own government. But they jump right on board when anybody else does wrong. There is a balance, you know, between those things, and there is no such thing as one side being 100% right and the other side being 100% right. And no, Assange is not undermining diplomacy. What he's doing is, and what his organization basically is trying to do, is to expose the hypocrisy behind a false diplomacy, which essentially pits people and nations against each other. Not that this is anything new, but since most people are unaware of it, I believe it should be exposed.